Boom. And let's kick it off. Booze and Biz, episode number 11? I think it is my favorite number. I just thought about that. I'm not sure. I should probably stop counting the episodes because I never know what episode it is. But anyways, welcome to Booze and Biz, aka Get Lit with Nick. We're in full Get Lit. We're in full Get Lit apparel today. So this show, if you've never watched it, never been here before, welcome. So basically the premise of the show, long time ago, I was on somebody else's round table, as it was called. It was kind of quiet and boring, right? And I was drinking beer. I was having a good time. And somebody said, hey, somebody should start a beer and wine hour, beer and wine, something or other. And I'm like, bet that's going to be me. So I posted to Facebook that I was thinking about making a drinking and talking show. And like the post went wild. And so we launched the show like 3 days later. And here we are. I believe this is our 11th one. I am back in home base. Last week I was in Dallas at Big and Bright Inflatables. This week I'm back in the office, back in my comfort zone, running it how I always do. So it's very awesome to have everybody aboard. We got some more people still coming in. Somebody just came in from Event Hawk. Who was that Event Hawk person? You don't have a microphone, so you can't talk. Event Hawk person doesn't have a microphone. Man, we got people coming in. So we're going to stall a little bit. You're back, dude.
I'm back. I got rid of the Fold because I realized it was costing me way too much. I downgraded to the Pilgrim phone, the iPhone, and it's
the only phone that there should be. Other people that have other phones that are not iPhones. I'm like, you're cute. Like, what are you trying to do right now? Let me pin this. All right, so I think we're ready to rock and roll. So if anybody, I always write, generally speaking, how the show goes if you haven't been on before. So I've got 3 topics, generally speaking, every week that I kind of prepare for myself to talk about, just in case nobody wants to talk, right? So sometimes the room just gets going and I don't ever really say much about my 3 topics. Other times I rally through them in like 40 minutes because nobody talks until they've had a couple of these. So if you guys have anything you want to discuss, open forum. You guys can drop it in the chat on Zoom. You can drop it on the comments on Facebook, or of course you can always unmute and talk in there. Tonight I'm drinking the beloved. I've been drinking this since I was, I think, 19 years old, maybe 18 years old. I still remember the first one of these I ever had. It was mixed with Coca-Cola back then, but I remember taking a sip of it and being like, now that is a bourbon and or whiskey that I could drink all the time. Not really being a big bourbon or whiskey guy. And it's the best ever. So Wild Turkey 101, everybody's afraid of it because it's 101. That's why I like it. I'm going to sleep good tonight. Yes, sir. I went hard on my to-do list today. So I really didn't have like a ton. I've been so busy every day this week. It's been insane. And so I've kind of cleared my schedule, so to speak. So we're good tomorrow. If I need to sleep until like 6:30, I'm good to go. All right, so let's get the show rocking. So check it out. First thing I wanted to cover, I got 3 things I want to cover today. I'm gonna hit the big one first. I think it's gonna add the most value. It's also got the most directions we could go with it, in my opinion. So if anybody wants to chime in, you guys can. But the first topic I wanted to hit on was how to land big jobs. Now, the majority of everybody that's going to be on this show, either live or via Zoom, and probably on YouTube, folks, as well, viewers, is going to be bounce house people, will be the vast majority, and then there'll be a little bit of Christmas light contractors. I think this ideology can translate over to, excuse me, I was eating pistachios, man. Excuse me. I think this ideology can translate over to any department, any industry. If I don't die on camera, we'll all have a good night. Whether you're a power washer, gutter cleaner, construction, what is that? A contractor. Like, I don't think it really matters. I think this can kind of go anywhere. But for landing big jobs, so some of the kind of key things that I wanted to touch on is, in my opinion, your number one thing is got to be the up front, how you look up front, or the storefront, so to speak. So I come from a background of like old school, like regular ass retail, right? Mall based retail. And so it was always funny to me when I was younger in that industry. You could walk down the hallway, whatever, you're going to lunch or something, and you see, right? I worked at Journeys. You look at the Journey store and like it looks nice, right? Like it looks put together. The PacSun, same thing. The H&M, same thing. And then you get to that one spot that's like too small or whatever and sucks and always turns over to some new weird store. It's a flip-flop store and then it's something else. And you look inside and it looks tacky, like it looks bad. Like from jump, you know, everything in there is either on sale or they're about to close up shop because they got, you know, I won't go into detail. I'll just say it's obvious to your eyeballs instantly that it's not a well put together store. And so now translate that over into the services industry. Obviously, we don't have 99.9% of us don't have brick and mortar storefronts, right? So the visual stuff like that doesn't really matter. What we do though is websites, right? The website is huge. Depends on your industry how big that website is. In Christmas lights, it's not like the huge make or break. It's definitely mega important. In the bounce house world, it's the most important thing. It's probably the most important thing. I've never really gave it that much thought. It probably is. So basically, when somebody comes to me on Instagram or on the Discord group or something and asks my opinion on how they could grow their business, the first question I always ask is, do you have a website? Do you have booking software website, aka an inflatable office? If they say no, I don't have any other things to give them other than go do that, right? Because it's that important. So if you go to the website, I'm going to show you mine. I'm going to share my screen and show you mine. I'll show you both of mine. They're by no way, shape, or form perfect because there we go. They're no way, shape, or form perfect because I'm a busy guy and I've got best laid plans, right? I want to do all sorts of cool stuff to these, but you know, you can't do it all. You can't do it all. And so I do the best I can. But let's go to my Christmas light one first. Okay, so this website was thrown together, I'm not joking, in maybe 2 hours. And you guys are seeing the right screen, right? Everybody can somebody give me a thumbs up or a comment? I'm known for sharing the wrong screen. Okay. So I tried to keep it pretty simple, all right, to where and look, I'm going to be 100% honest. I just followed what Tariq from Event Hawk teaches straight up because everything that Tariq's ever told me to do pretty much has worked stupendously. So I just, you know, do what he suggests for website. I guess you could say web design. And then I know a little teeny tiny bit of web design through WordPress. Like I'm no shape or form. I don't know how to code or anything like that. But so I built this myself last year. In like 2 hours. I've since gone back and tweaked it this season to get it almost right. But you go to the website, you see who we are, right? Then over here, this is always super important to me. I have a background of a blogger. I was in an alternate universe, I would have became like a real deal blogger. I'm a really good writer and I love freaking blogging. But this link, generally speaking, on your blog gets the most clicks, right? And so I've gone through and like mine is like this big long story, right? It's huge. It's like this one's not as big as the jump off one's like 15 or 1600 words. It's crazy big. But I always have that in there because for me, one of the main selling points for me is how main selling points for my businesses is how passionate we are about what we do. And so that's a big one for me. I love that. Okay. Then you've got get a free estimate. Love it. And then this probably needs to go away. This actually links to my blog, my old blog. It's now nickglassett.com and it looks like a store to sell rolling straps. I don't even sell rolling straps from here anymore. So that probably needs to go. That's a good example of one of those things that is not perfect, right? And then I don't know how to get rid of this home button. It's stupid. Everybody knows to click this and I can't get rid of that home button. So it kind of just lives there. It is what it is. Socials, awesome. Now here's the big thing. This right here, you want to have say who you are and what you do. And where you are and what you do. North Shore, and New Orleans Christmas light installation. Boom, they come here, they know they're in the right place. Then I got the big button that says get your free quote, which takes them over to the quote page. I just threw this over here because it made sense, looked good. Talk about my estimates. Okay. I'm ready to put in here my Google reviews. I just haven't had time to do it. I'll show you my jump off site in a second, but and then the further down you scroll, the less and less and less and less people come here. So it's gets less and less important. So these are reviews that need to live at the top, but I'm gonna get a plugin that goes right there that rotates actual Google reviews. But there you go. So people come here, right? I'm not saying that this website is like professionally designed and like has like drone footage and all this crazy stuff, but somebody comes here like, right? It's good enough. It's good enough. I'm not losing any clients over this. I'm also not bragging about it. Okay. This is built by me on a Tuesday a long time ago. Now let's go over to the jump off. This one I'm much more proud of. Okay. Because this is obviously, so it's funny, like Let's Get Lit actually makes more money than the jump off, but this one is kind of the bigger deal company, right? Because it's 12 months a year and it's how I can build and scale and do all those cool things, right? So boom, there's your event hawk pop-up. But right here at the top, boom, top rated bounce house rental in Madisonville, Covington, and Mandeville. Then you come down, North Shore bounce house rental and water slide rental. And then this was Tariq's idea. I'm waiting for him to tell me if it was a good idea or not, but he said to do coupon thing here instead of a book now button. So we'll see how it goes. But right, and then in the background, you can see me, my wife, my son. My daughter was napping, so she's got in this picture. And then our dog here in our front yard with 2 slides back when we used to run it out of the garage. But it's just kind of like an epic picture it's on the wall over there too. And I just think it communicates so well, like how I run the business, right? And so I've always left that there. I'm flirting with doing drone footage and cool shit right there, but it hasn't happened right now. But somebody comes to this website, right? And you got phone number, you got email address, and then you got your rentals. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. It's all set. It's all good to go. It looks professional. So that's your storefront. So if you want to land big clients, like your website needs to look something like this, right? Then I got all my Google reviews, and this is a cool plugin, which I wish I remembered the name of it. I do not remember. I pay for this. It's not free, but it rotates. It rotates. And so it'll just go blip, 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 rotate through. And then I added this. I'm very interested to see how well this does or how many clicks this does. But I said I'm also the top educator in the inflatable industry, our YouTube channel, and then boom, right? And then right, the further down you go, there's the strap store too. But anyways, somebody comes to this, it looks like we're professional, right? So if you want to land big clients, you got to look like, let me stop my screen. Hold on. Stop. There we go. Yeah. So if you want to land big clients, number one, you need to look like you can land big clients. Anybody got anything to say on that? I'm going to get.
What's up, buddy?
Yo, dude, you're on the fucking to-do list to call. I promise you are.
No, you're good.
It's been insane. It's been insane since I got back from Dallas and I got
I like that you said that though. That's like one of my mottos is like fake it till you make it pretty much. Like there's no difference between a backyard rental company and my company or some of the companies that make $1 million other than presentation. Like we all have bounce houses. We all deliver them. We all probably have games. Like we all deliver them. So it's just, you know what I mean? Some of the newer companies might even have nicer equipment than some of the older companies. Like, and they still rent out more for higher prices just because they have a nicer website or a better presentation, more foothold in the market from being there longer. But foothold in the market, like you can have a shitty reputation and still get more business than some people that with no reputation or a new reputation. So it's all about building your reputation.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like when somebody goes to that website and they see a nice polished, effort that went in, immediately they're like, oh, thank God. Right. Like I just walked into a store that they care, they invest, they care. Like it's a huge deal. Trying to look through the comments here. Oh, I got a good, okay. We'll hit on that in a minute, Brian, about auto booking. So if you want to land big clients, you got to look like you can handle big clients. The best way that I can teach it is if you have somebody that lives in a $3 million home that goes to your website, do they want to spend money with you? This person drives, whatever, a G-Wagon. They have, their house is just insane. They don't do anything, right? They've got lawn care guys. They've got bush trim guys. They've got painters. They've got electricians, like all those people on speed dial. If they go to your website, do they see something? Do they see a product that they can then believe in and take their credit card out of their Louis Vuitton and pay you, right? That is step number one to big clients. For me, in my opinion, step number two is it's going to sound, I wish I had different words to term this, but customer service. Now, I don't mean to put on your goofy voice, right? You answer the phone. Me and Matthew were joking about this last weekend. You put on the, or last weekend when I was in Dallas. And then you're talking with your buddy, you're like, yeah, this motherfucker, like, da-da-da-da. Jump off, this is Nick. Like, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? I'm actually talking about the opposite of that. So for customer service, for me, I interact with the client regardless of who they are, regardless. I was at a $3.5 million house for an in-person consultation, and I showed up dressed like this, right? And talk to her like this. Like, I'm just the most normal person. That's my aim, is to be Nick. I don't want to win them over with fake customer service. I want to go just be me, right? I want them to want to work with me. I'm confident that I've lost big jobs for the same thing, right? I'm in the South. So I didn't grow up in the South. I don't call anybody ma'am or sir. Everybody calls everybody ma'am or sir that's older than them. I do not, just because it's just not in my DNA. And I stay true to that. And I'm sure that I've gone on a consultation or been on a phone call, not gotten that job because of the way I talk. However, in my opinion, it over indexes greatly to how many people I've gone on consultations before. And I mean, I'm talking bidding $5,000 jobs, and they're like, shit, dude, thank you for being normal. Like, it's so refreshing to talk to you. Like, they know I'm going to shoot it straight, and they know I'm not there to church it up and act like something's not there. I'm real. Okay. I go as far, and I think I've sent it to 3 different clients, but I've talked about it to some big clients that I was at their house, where we're talking about Christmas lights, and one of them, the most memorable one, she got another bid from another company, and she said it was very similar priced and very similar service, like as far as what we're going to light or whatever. She had heard good things about me, and she didn't know about the other company. And so I literally took a picture of my hand and sent her a picture of my hand. I said, I promise nobody cares like we care. I literally have a Christmas light tattooed on my hand, and my culture in my company, that trickles down to everybody down below me. Like, they all care about your Christmas almost as much as you care about your Christmas, because we're passionate about what we do. There's nobody you can hire that's as passionate as we are, right? I didn't say I was better than the other company. I didn't say I was going to be cheaper. Right? I just said we care the most, and I landed the job, and it's a pretty big one. 3,200, I think 3,250, if I remember right. You know what I mean? Because I sent a freaking picture of my hand. So that customer service goes a long way, but I say that to say the customer service needs to match your personality. Like, go be yourself. There's a refreshing nature that other human beings will feed off of when you're just yourself. They know, right? They know, they can tell when something's off and you're kind of being fake.
Yeah, I get away with murder with sometimes, and like my guys and my friends, even like when I'm over here at the lounge and stuff like that, I'll answer phone calls and then just be talking to somebody. And if they're cool, like my whole demeanor changes. I lose the customer service voice. I might let like a fuck or two fly. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
just talk to them casual. I just did a quote for a church that was like for like $2,500, and they accepted it. And then during the conversation, I literally was talking about the giant mechanical penis rodeo that I have to the person after she already told me she was the pastor. Like,
Yeah.
she was laughing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like,
if I can jump in, I think Justin's the only one that can do that. He's got that demeanor, just anything goes.
like,
Oh, yeah, pretty much anything goes. I swear I did that. I didn't tell her about the giant joint that lights up and smokes though. I thought that was too far.
yeah,
that
I
one you
used
got to
get
know
that
on a first name basis, I think.
Even though it's the burning bush.
Yeah, I used to get that back, back when I was like long time ago. I was on the sales floor at Journeys. Like I could just say shit to customers, and like my employees would be like, I don't understand how you can literally walk up to them and be like, that one's ugly, don't buy it. Get the brown one, also get the black one, and then they do exactly what you say. I'm like, because I didn't walk up and go, hi, did you have any particular questions today? Like I walked up and like acted like a regular freaking person, dude.
That's actually has more depth, gets way more in depth if you really want to go there. And if you want to be honest with you, when it comes to sales, you're assuming the sale. When people call me, I don't like, oh, maybe you want to rent a bounce house for your party. No, like which bounce house are you getting? Like pick one. Tell me what you want. Let's just get it. You're already paying me your money. We'll get this done real quick in there. Sometimes people stop me and they'll be like, oh, I just want a quote. And I'm like, yeah, I still need all the same information anyways. What's your name, phone number? Boom. Put this in the system. You know what I mean? Send you an email. All you gotta do is send me back up and you'll have it. I can turn it on for you. But it's the same thing. Now you don't have to deal with anything more. And if you know what I mean, you don't like this quote and you ever want to work with us in the future, I got all your information. I'm not going to sell it to the Chinese. Don't worry. Like just say something. Just, I don't know.
I don't know why, but it seems like it's like every other weekend our workers end up drinking beer with the customers before we even get to leave. I'm like, come on, guys. And it's every time, too. They're like, you want a beer? I'm like, no, I'm driving, but they can. And sure enough.
I have people offering me beer before their party even starts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like before, like it's 2 weeks away. They're already like, yeah, I got beers for your workers already. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, dog, it's like 9 a.m. Like, no,
yeah.
It's too early for the beers.
Yeah, you ever throw them off though and actually take it?
If it's later in the day or like at 9 a.m.
9 in the morning, just
no 9. The best though is when they're right. Who offers somebody a beer at 9 in the morning? That's weird. That's like, let's just be real. That's weird. But
people in Buffalo,
when they offer, right now, if it's like Saints game day, like I get it. But when it's 9 in the morning and they're like, hey, I just brewed a fresh pot of coffee. You want a cup? I'm like, yes. I take the cup of coffee, bro, every time. I've gotten 2 ever, but it's like my favorite thing. All right, so landing big jobs. So have a good website, a good presence that's professional upfront. Have real customer service, not good customer service. Just be regular, be normal, be yourself. The third one that I wanted to hit on is kind of weird, and I don't know where this conversation is going to go, but I have a feeling that anybody who's a successful business person is going to agree with me. Generally speaking, don't negotiate. If you do negotiate, stand your ground and don't give them what they want. So what I've noticed over the course of both of my businesses scaling to doing, close to $300,000 each. In the beginning, you're scared if you're going to make it, right? Like you have this desperation about you that I swear to God, people can just read. So they all hit you up for discounts and you take them all. Like everybody that asks, you give them a discount because you have that desperation thing. What ends up happening though, is like, you can never get out of the rat race, like forever and always. Like you just almost stay. This is just my theory, but you just stay with that desperation, like smelling, that they can just sense through the phone somehow. And you just stay getting clients that want deals and beat the shit out of your stuff. And $140. They got to mull it over and talk to the wife and send it to you in payments or whatever. The second, and I mean the second, that I realized I had something that other people couldn't match, not that I have slides that are cleaner or bigger or better or brighter or newer, right? I just have a whole entire culture of this company that's unmatched by anybody near me, that I can get away with saying shit like Justin was just saying like that. I realized like, no, I'm good. Like there's just this light bulb that goes off, and like I would still get that weird feeling in my stomach when they hit me up for a discount where you're like, I need the rental, but you just know you're good, and you just not.
I got something to add there. And this is probably like the biggest and best move when dealing with any type of corporate client that tries to do like so they got a $3,000 job. They're trying to like, okay, there's a lot of stuff here. Can you do a discount? You know what I mean? Can you knock like $300-$400 off? And instead of doing that, offer some games. Like it's the crazy, like just literally throw in the games. Yes, you're doing more work for more money or for the same amount of money, but they're just a couple games, and they love it because their event gets bigger. It's as simple as that. Throw another inflatable in, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's keep the $400 in your pocket because you're going there. Do a little bit extra work on site. It's, you know what I mean? It's like it's almost scaling. You know what I mean? That's why I like bigger ticket items in one area, because there's just no in between time on delivery, which is you always eat that. So even if it like people tell all the time, oh, it takes longer when you add the tent to the job. Like what? Like I hate doing tents and bounce houses. So yeah, you're on the job for an extra 30, 45 minutes and making an extra $800, $900 with no in between time. So it's like, you know what I mean? I tell Nick about this all the time. I mean, he sees my back end. I show my back end on my channel all the time and on here. And literally you could see that I get $1,000 job every week, like if not multiple. I'm not posting these in the groups. I get, you know what I mean? Because it's just it would be vain at a certain point. But all the newer people, it feels good getting your $1,000 job. First out, you know what I mean? But once you start getting consistent $1,000 jobs, trust me, that's a whole nother feeling that feels really good. Like,
yeah, it's sales 101, right? They hit you up for a discount and you can say yes or say no. The emotion attached to your answer drives the relationship to a new place, right? Bitter. Because if you say yes, you're pissed. If you say no, they're pissed, right? If you just offer the instead, all of a sudden, now everybody's happy because you're like, no, cheap ass, you're going to get, right? You're, like you said, the games, like, we'll just bring a freaking Connect 4 and
I also don't do that shit when people call me last minute.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, yeah, I agree with that.
Like, there's like a standard. You can get more out of them. Like, if somebody called me last minute, and they tried asking me for a discount or something like that, well, you know what I mean? I would be like, okay, well, to be honest with you, I charge more for times like this for last minute, and I'm not doing that right now. So just that's your discount. Like suddenly it's like, oh, I just created an imaginary discount. You can do that? Yes, you can do that. Like I do crap like I say stuff like that all the time. Yeah, no, you can
agree and disagree.
My last minute discount is $95. I wind up waiving
Mine's 100.
I waive that fee every time, and they're like, "Oh, thank you."
See, I'll never.
So
we
this
had
is
one Saturday. But I disagree with the whole discount thing because, and it might be different because it was my first year, but we're still scoring these big church. And I know like churches have plenty of money and stuff, but I mean, we just had a church this Sunday. We've been back and forth with them. They rented one unit from us, and they rented like two other ones from some other company, which are just such a bad look on our name. And I told her, like, I will not rent to y'all again unless it's just us at the event, or you get with me on who's going to be there, because it was a bad look. They didn't like sandbag their stuff or anything.
You get in trouble for
But
that.
we did
That'd be
bag
liable.
a 5-unit rental with them. And I mean, I worked them a deal out for renting 5 units. I mean, because it was almost $2,000.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think some things I won't like if it's someone.
Oh, I think
You're cutting out.
Yeah, cutting out.
But if it's 5 minutes down the road from my house, it's like a combo. Like I could go do by myself. I'm not going to turn because I mean I think we're at like 275 plus some plus some travel. We do a travel fee even with it being 5 minutes down the road.
Yep.
If they're make or break over $10 for me, a $300 ticket over $10, I mean, will just be. I mean, I feel like you shouldn't throw that kind of money, but y'all might be in a different situation. Y'all might be.
Yeah,
I got 17 going out this weekend, so I mean, it's different, I guess.
Yeah, it's different. Like I have one going out this weekend. I booked it maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. They called to book, and we were just talking, and they wanted a water slide. I'm like, okay, it's freaking October 22nd. And I was like, yeah, that one's $325. The 18-foot dual lane, $325. They're like, oh man, like, do you think you could do a better price on that? Like so and so across town's got for this or whatever. I'm like, hey, dude, on October 22nd, yes, a water slide, yes, I can do better. Like we're sending, you know what I mean?
Yep.
One truck, like well, all day. I said 275. How about that? He goes, yeah, that's great. Like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll take the 275. Like, totally, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is totally a pick and choose your battle type thing.
And like just know your work.
I
I
don't ever just resort right to the discount. But I tell you this much though, I discount like today. Somebody called me, and I don't ever. I try not to do. I have a $200 minimum. I'm not going anywhere unless you meet the $200 minimum. This old guy called me for like $150 order, and I was telling him, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I'll just get the extra tables and chairs or whatever." And then he asked me my name and said he was going to call me back. He asked me my name, and he said he used to live in Lovejoy. And I'm like, oh, I live in Lovejoy. And I told him my last name. He knows. I was like, oh, I know Ferraccios and stuff like that. And he's like, I go to the Big Timers Club. I'm like, oh, you're a member of the Big Timers Club? Because I'm a member of the Big Timers Club. And because of that, I was like, oh, no, I'll do it. Send me your info. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah. I mean, you can almost tell the vibe off of a customer, like if they really are just going to try to nickel and dime you, then yeah, I don't want to fool with that. But if it's like,
no, I
don't know, if it's like someone that is just,
no.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I do the same thing. But if it's something like multi-unit or something that's just super simple, I mean, I ask myself, is it worth the money for my time?
See,
like we all said something about last minute.
If I was able to accommodate all these small table and chair orders, just them, I would do it, because there's multiple instances when I first started and when I do these like small orders that they call me for bigger orders later on. It's just like doing a dunk tank. I fucking hate renting out dunk tanks. You make so little amount of money and it's just annoying. It's huge. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, it just takes up so much space. There's just an obstacle to kind of get to places at times. But I love dunk tanks because they get me into schools and all these different corporate stuff and to places that if I didn't have the dunk tank, people wouldn't even hit me up, because it all starts with that thing.
Yeah. Once you've done the dunk tank, they're like, oh shit, he has tents, or he has bounce houses, or he has whatever.
Yeah, you'd be surprised if you like just how many people come in through the dunk tank. Like, here's a tip that I'll tell people, and this because what your theme for tonight is basically how to get bigger clients and bigger jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the first topic.
So, okay, I didn't know if that was a theme for the night or not, but this goes into that, because put up mad shit on your website you don't even own and just make it look like you can't ever book it, because it's always booked. You know what I mean? Put a dunk tank in there. Get that dunk tank SEO before you even buy it. Get that, you know what I mean? Get that obstacle course SEO before you even own an obstacle course. Oh, I'm sorry, it's booked out every weekend for the rest of the year, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, that's me.
Yeah.
That you buy an obstacle course, because I messed up and didn't have one most of this year.
Yeah,
and now I have it, and it's like two or three times a week.
Like I got okay, for example, like I have Hungry Hippo on my website because that is like for interactive games, that seems to be one of the number one SEO terms. I don't own a Hungry Hippo. Like
That's brilliant.
Stuff like that. Like I'm telling you, you want to make yourself seem bigger. Here's another way to make yourself look larger. Because I did this, and then once you get enough items, you're going to want to do the reverse and make it so you'll see what I'm saying. So I have a bounce house with all the banners, and I individually put it so all the bounce houses with the banners were on the page. So it looked like I had 15 bounce houses, and it's only really one bounce house. Makes your company look twice as big as it really is. But eventually, when you have freaking 10 bounce houses, and then you know what I mean, you get 20 variations of each, you're just like, oh shit. This is a lot on one web page, and then you make it so now you can, and then all the freaking sites do this: BCN, IO, ERS, all of them. So and then you can do it where they click the item and then choose the style inside it, so it like condenses it. But at first, when you're first starting out, if you want to look bigger, that's a good trick to do that.
And fuck banners.
Banners?
I threw all mine away. Like it was such a pain.
They just sit there. I don't. They go out now and then. They're good for getting people like, oh, do you have this theme? The one time somebody wants a, you know what I mean, a Dora bounce house or something. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I got that. You know what I mean? The one, you know what I mean? And it's like I get that sale because they'll call everybody around because they're having a Dora party or something.
Yeah. I feel like they'll always try to get something that's that. I don't know. We had a terrible time with banners. Like they didn't fit good. They looked sloppy. They just were a pain. They were starting to like you see where they're scratching off they were not good. But
I have banners. They're probably like 20 years old from Ninja Jump that are licensed.
Yeah.
And they look like they're only like a couple years old. They're fine. So I don't know if you bought some messed up shit or which is like I don't know. We gotta have a conversation like when this isn't being recorded and it's not like putting out or it's not like that. I just don't know if it's the type of thing to put on here, but like the whole Facebook group, I'm on about the point where I'm like gonna make people pay to be in the newsletter if they want to advertise there because there's too many people just ripping people off, dude. And I'm not gonna sit here and vet all this stuff. And I'm, you know what I mean? I don't know how I feel about all this.
Yeah.
It's gotten wild in PRK.
Gotten wild. I used to be in there on the reg,
I do have something I'll talk about that's pretty cool. I have the stock footage. This is what I was trying to call you about, Nick. I just paid my partners here at the lounge because I built another newsletter that's for like the weed industry already. So I was just like, oh, what the fuck? Why don't I have this upgraded newsletter for the party rental industry? So now they're doing that. So now you'll basically be able to have your own account to go in there and you'll be able to adjust it where you can see which, like what stuff you want from what vendor, you know what I mean? From what type of category. So you don't have to scroll down. You can customize that list. On top of that, your account, you're able to upload photos from that you like. I'm so fucking serious about the copywriting stuff. Like I'm not dealing with this. I'm putting all kinds of stuff into place where people can't just take stuff off the internet and put it in here because it's illegal. You're going to get in trouble. Like if I got to like get you arrested or something in your local town for doing this, I will, because I'm not dealing with the crackdown, DEFCON 0. Like don't be doing fraud stuff because you can upload your own personal pictures into this system, and then basically people are able to download those pictures for their own usage, and you'll get paid. So if you if you have a picture of a Jump Orange bounce house and somebody else needs a picture of it, you can get paid off of it if they download it off the site. So basically it'd be like $5 and you're able to do 5 downloads. And then you get 10, the person gets like 25 cents if the picture they chose is your picture.
You know nice. I mean? Yeah. When do you launch that? That's cool.
I should have it done by IAPA, but nice. I'm not going to be launching it until like after IAPA.
Yeah, That's freaking cool, dude. That's very
yeah,
cool.
no, it's gonna be sweet, and we can add the video, which is why I want to talk with you because I know you have a bunch of video too, and you can add it in there. That and then Adam's doing the courses, and there's some type of courses that I would be interested in doing, others that I wouldn't. I assume you're the same way. And then there's even like there's people who are in here in our Facebook groups that like they are like they used to be a full electrician, you know what I mean, or they used to be a plumber, or they used to, you know what I mean, be an accountant, and they could probably explain some of the stuff that we want to explain in great detail and do a whole course on it. So they can come in there and like basically it's like one of those online course sites, but just for the party rental industry.
Got it. That's cool.
Like all up in one. That should all be done by November and stuff. So it's like newsletter 2.0, and yeah, no, that's what I've been working on.
Love it, dude. Love it. Can't wait to finally, hopefully I can call you tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
For
and then once
sure.
you're done with all that stuff, they're able to work on our site, the tool. Yeah, I have it all. Yeah,
Sick.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
How did your Christmas light stuff go?
Oh, the trainings?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
the bounce house training.
Yeah, so the bounce house training was pretty small, right? Because it was late season, so we only had 3 people there. But bro, I brought it. I came with every ounce of teaching that I had. I brought it. I'm very optimistic for the 3 that were there. So we'll kind of see. I'm still trying to put that back. So like one person's not on WhatsApp, one person's not on Facebook. Like it's been confusing to put the group together. So we'll kind of see how it goes. And I think results will come obviously next spring for that. For the Christmas light business, that was dope. We had 12 people attend the training, and there's all different levels of people in there, from like just starting their first business up to, I mean, Christopher said it was his Chris said it was his 8th. You know what I mean? So there's gonna be all levels of revenue.
Chris is killing it. There's a few people that already seen your course, like just killing it already.
Chris is one of them. And then there's differing levels of interest, right? It's everybody's different, so it's hard to read, but there's just people who you pick out. Like, so I had most of my employees were there just to kind of run grab lunch, like whatever. You know what I mean? And after, I didn't even ask either, too. They just started being like, who's gonna kill it? This person. This guy was asking, right? Because my guys, about half my crew knows everything, right, about working with the product physically. And so when we were doing that part of the teaching, they were walking around helping people, whatever, and they were picking out people that were just going to crush it and kill it. Good questions, good interactions. So I started just a closed Facebook group, right? Good interactions in there. People are sending some big quotes that are already coming through, right, for the first year. Like, there's some big quotes early. We're still October, so I'm very optimistic. So the plan will be, post season. So come January, February, I'm gonna go shoot some videos, like some what are those called?
Promo?
No, where they talk about how good they did. What is that called?
Oh, testimonials.
Yes, testimonial videos, and kind of get some real stats. And then I personally, right, so that's from their standpoint. I think they all have everything they need to go absolutely crush it. And then from my standpoint, like, that's my passion, dude. Like, I worked from 4:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night. And then the next day I worked from 4:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night. And I didn't get tired the whole time. Like, I was on point. Like, that's my happy place. Like, teaching and running classes like that, like meetings and all that. It's just my happy place. So the intention, like, this is just like a teaser, not an announcement. Nothing's set in stone. I haven't planned anything. I've been too busy doing other stuff. The plan next year is to go nationwide with both classes, 4 to 6 cities, sell tickets, show up, probably me and one of the guys, and teach, and do one in Houston, one in Orlando, one in LA, whatever. But they were super awesome. So they were very fun. You know, and the other thing too is I'm going to kind of circle this all back, right? So one of the things I feel like we kind of didn't get to in the courses, especially in the bounce house course, but right, that's a much different world. But in the Christmas light course was exactly what this whole conversation just started on, which is landing big clients. It's something that I feel like we didn't really have the opportunity to touch on. And then now talking through it live with you guys, it's like, you know, I didn't realize it was as big of a topic as I think as it should be, because as a business owner and an entrepreneur, like you're kind of hardwired to just get clients, just get the client. And then at that, you potentially hit that turning point to where you can then start to, you know, weed out the little ones. I don't want to say that sounds bad, but you can say no to the ones that want a discount. You know what I mean? And so that's something I think that I'd like to go more in depth on those trainings. Anybody have anything they wanted to add or questions on that? I know there was some questions in the Facebook, more specifically about inflatable office, but I'm going to go through the Zoom ones. But if you guys have questions, you can unmute real quick.
I was just raising my hand for Mark because he asked about your install and take.
Yeah, let me see. Oh yeah. Do you install and take down for the one price? Yeah, Mark. So basically, what you do, and I try to do it the most simple way possible. There's other people that make it a little more complicated, which I'll touch on. But so we do the entire service, everything for the quoted price. And so for better, to make it simple for this conversation, $7 a foot measured out on Google Earth is the bid. And then that's everything, right? Timer, cords, bulbs, install, take down, storage. Then next year, I've switched it up. So right now we're going to do next year's a 10% discount, not a 20. 20 was just too much. Other companies, and if to my knowledge, right, I don't see a lot of the other companies around me quotes, but to my knowledge, a lot of the companies around me do X number of dollars per foot. It just gets so confusing. I got one of the quotes last year sent to me, and it's like $7 a foot, but then they get like some whatever discount, but then the timer costs $30, and then the extension cord cost $30, and they like knew how long the extension cord was going to be before they did the house. It was very strange to me. I was like, yeah, that's a lot to look at. Like, I just keep it simple, just right. And if you're worried that you're not going to make the money with the timer expense, which mine cost me $8 a piece, I think, or the cord expense, which is about 30 cents a foot, 25 cents a foot, something like that. If you're worried about those two, like just bid it over $7, right? Just do $7.25 a foot or something like that. So I keep it simple. Just, yeah, it's all cooked in. Boom, $7 a foot. Let's go. Big, crazy, scary house, 8, 9. I have one that I do at 10. Little tiny dinky house will go lower, but on the caveat of I need to come and train my guys on that house on October 20th. So you're getting Christmas lights on October 20th.
So have you done permanent lights yet?
No. So I saw you. I just opened Facebook and that was the thing that popped up when I saw you talking about it. I want to kind of dink with it just to see what it's like. Let me rephrase that. Going into 2023, like, I'm tired of having badass employees, which the jump off has 8, right? And Let's Get Lit is a little bit bigger. As of now has 10, and I low-key hired 2 more today. But all those people are like part-time. Like, I got to work around their other job schedules and shit. Like, it's annoying. And so what I want to do is start a business that can be Monday through Friday. at our discretion, right? Because obviously once you start getting busy in May and stuff, that's my busiest month, but start getting busy in May, you got school events and you've got lots of units to go Friday, whatever. You know what I mean? I want to start a business that I can do Monday through Friday. And then as we start to get busier at the jump off, just kind of like dial it down and the guys switch over to that. But that way I can have 2 full-time guys that work for me 40 plus hours a week.
Tents, tables, chairs.
Keep them busy, but keep them available when you need them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want so the business I really think it's gonna be, having done no research other than just like talk to other people in other industries, like whatever through Facebook and shit, is power washing, right? Because
you're dude, you're such a dork. It's so you though. Like that's such a good. It's like that or landscaping, one of the others.
And I messed with the
landscaping is terrible.
But
how do you make money landscaping right now? I don't know.
Volume, bro. Like that's what I'm talking about.
I'm in there. If I were to do a landscaping business, this is what I would do.
Pressure washing right now is like going 30 to 40K easily for contracting jobs.
I would think pressure washing, but
it is.
I love pressure. I love pressure washing too.
I think
concrete and freaking pot and water than freaking driving over a fucking bee's nest.
I agree. I'm saying I agree with pressure washing.
I'm only 8 years in the inflatable business, and my cousin is less than a year and a half with the pressure washing. I mean, he works 2 days out of the month pulling 2 to 4K. I mean, 30 to 40K per parking lot. I mean, for parking garage, and it's kind of discouraging, but it's like look at what it is that you're working with and how long it's good for. So he's not guaranteed next month with another parking deck or garage that he needs to wash. So I mean, it kind of plays out, you know.
But for a side hustle and some power washers, shit, I'd throw that in a rental inventory too and say fuck it.
Yes.
I think pressure washing's good. I'm saying I don't know how people make it in like lawn service and stuff now, because
honestly, though, that's
where I live, pressure washing is so good because there's so many trucking companies. I mean, I know people say that you don't make a lot of money on cleaning the trucks and trailers, but around here, there's people that make a ton of money on that. Like,
I am so far down a rabbit hole, and I was just looking for a bounce house to buy for my daughter last year, and then got caught up with this guy named Nick. Man, Jesus,
me too. Yeah.
Jesus
now we got 30 units and foam cannons and. Doing the Christmas lights.
And I finally got to join tonight. So, hey, cheers to you guys. Appreciate you.
Cheers, brother.
Hey, Nick.
Cheers.
I'm a bourbon guy, man, but I'll go with the Tennessee whiskey tonight, okay?
Going on.
Yeah, I respect it. I'm not saying I don't like other bourbons. Just saying this one just always it just tastes the best.
Yeah, you know, and let me share a quick personal story real quick. And this is my first time on. I've been like swamped with the business. It's all been word of mouth. There's no websites, nothing around Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I've been freaking swamped. So I had my hugest event, Walmart distribution, 20 years this past weekend. I actually reached out to Nick to see if he had like 5 minutes of conversation last week. I'm caught up in my full-time day job. I work at least 60 to 70 hours in my manufacturing job of 16 years. I'm tired of this shit. I am seeing what the inflatables are doing now that I just wanted to purchase one for my daughter at first. I'm 6 units in, and I freaked out last week. And, hey, Nick, well, you got 5 minutes, man. Let me talk to this. And I said, you know what? You got this, Chris, right?
Just go,
right,
baby.
Nick? Just fucking go. Let's go. And I went up there unprepared. My wife was like, hey, why are you so nervous? I said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm going to go with it. I got up there, prepared on a surface that set up, they chose stakes in the ground. I was set up in a parking lot. What do you do? What do? You work around it. My wife looked at me. She's like, what do you do, Chris? I go to Harbor Freight and pick up these. They're 2 for $1.76 straps. I go to Lowe's and pick up, of course, 50-pound sandbags. I found these sacks you can wrap them in. I put the Harbor Freight strap around them and hook them just easy fix. I mean, I charged them $700 for it. It's Walmart, the second largest, company in the U.S., but you're going to pay for it. But it was a workaround for me. It was a learning curve for me. And sorry, I don't mean to get in too deep, Nick, but these are things that you taught very early on to me last September. And we got to find ways around things in order to be successful. And if you're limited to say, I need to focus on this, even though it's holding me back, but then you need to move the F on. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I killed Walmart and it felt so good. And I see you guys doing this, and on the server, I can't share a post with social media. I see them talking crap all over the Bounce House operators page and stuff. Like I did $6K with this $300 unit I bought from Walmart last week. It's like find your own self, and do what it is.
Make me go to Sam's, buy some units.
Hey, bro. I'm sure anybody will say the same thing, but if you want, look me up on.
Yeah, with my full-time job, it's been stressful, but at the same time, I know that I'm focused and learning something else new. And I tried, and let me back up. I created this business and in order to step away from my 16-year manufacturing career. Well, also in the same time, I ended up learning a software interface called PiVision that now my job is offering me another job in this position to get another way away from this. And I'm like, well, shit, I started the Bounce House business to get away from you, motherfucker. Like, and as soon as they see that you can do something good, of course, they're going to offer more money. But what is it that you could do good for your own to offer your family more memories and yourself more money than a company can offer you, besides some health insurance and benefits and stuff? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go that other way, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Nick, I appreciate you.
This is why we're all here, man. I
appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And it's good to, meet you on camera finally. And then, what I would tell you is the when I first started, renting everything, that I didn't have a website, so there was no check anything. So you just show up and it's on concrete. I was so ignorant. I didn't know this was like an industry. Like I didn't know IAPA, like none of that. Right. So like I used to just, put it near the grass on the driveway and stake it in and then put a strap around it. You know what I mean? We 100%, and then fast forward to the fact that you crushed it. Right. It's maybe, right. You can't tell the future, but it's maybe your moment where it tips. We all have it. Everybody that's, watching this, whether it's live right now or on YouTube later, has their moment where it tipped, where all of a sudden, like it's this cute little side hustle. I'm going to get one, whatever. And like you said, you go down the rabbit hole. And then there's a moment that happens where you're like, oh, wait a minute. This is actually something that is big, can get bigger, and we can just go forever and scale. And this can change my life. Like we all have that moment. That one might be yours. You know what I mean? If it is, then it doesn't matter what the company you work for offers you.
Oh yeah.
There comes a point. And so like for mine, like I had quit, right? I only had 2 bounce houses. I wasn't about to start a bounce house company. I wasn't about to scale a bounce house company. We just had 2. My wife bought them. I started to jump off. I thought it was cute. I made a logo, whatever. We were going to rent them out on the weekends, and I was going to figure out what the hell I wanted to do. Start a consulting agency was the plan, right? And then you get going, and then I quit the job, right? And then what do? Right? The president of the company calls me, the CEO calls me, the vice president of this calls me, the vice president of that calls me, made me an amazing offer to stay, right? Move us back to California, work for your best friend. The answer was no immediately, regardless of how good the offer was, because like the chemicals in my body had changed from, I don't give a fuck about your 401k, your 4% match, like, right? And they talk about what are you going to do about health insurance? I'm like, I don't fucking care about your health insurance. Like, you're not, it's no longer a hook in the fish's mouth. Like it's done because I don't care anymore. And once you hit that moment of your life, everything changes. You start to see everything differently. You know what I mean? And then you'll start to research things differently. You're gonna go research what it's like to buy houses.
You were actually in with a was it not an American Eagle?
Journeys,
yes.
Yeah, the shoe store.
With them for a long time before you split away, right?
Ironic, bro, or coincidental? I don't know. 16 years though. 16 years.
Don't do me like that.
I'm not joking.
Don't you do me like that, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, situation. I worked out, so I came out of the military. I did 4 years in the Navy. Come out. That's my first civilian job as a operator in this organization, and kind of build up into a operations manager. Now I'm a senior technical specialist. And man, I mean, it's been a lot. I'm in a healthier role where I'm not called or relied on as much. I mean, I'm more there for the programming and stuff like that, but I've also piggybacked off that and learned some more ladder logic and stuff inside of that, where I can do things that no other operation person that didn't have IT access or restrictions didn't have. So it's like, well, why can't you ask an IT person to do it? Well, he doesn't understand the process. This guy, Chris, he understands the process and he understands IT. So I'm kind of caught in a dilemma there, man. But at the same time, it's like, do I want to do this the rest of my life? And it's like, you paved your own path. I mean, this is a very simple statement, man, but it really is. And it's tough to make, like I showed up this weekend and that happened. I told the wife, I said, you know what? You deal with stuff and you move on, right? You either find a way around it or you just quit altogether. It's your choice. And at the same time, while I have been with the company for 16 years, change is freaking hard, man. It is hard. It's hard.
What I'll tell you though is you don't want to do it for the rest of your life. I already know that.
No.
Like, I want to touch on something too. With you,
listen, at the end of the day, I'm trying to get in Nick Glassett's tax bracket. Okay.
while we're on that subject about that happening to you or whatever, and you can always get on my Facebook, add me, and call anytime. But we run into that same issue to where we bought a bunch of Amazon steak, 18-inch steaks, and we did a bunch of schools, like 4 of them in a week. The first school we got to, we bent every single steak we owned. Luckily, we had ordered the water bags. You can carry water bags anywhere and everywhere you go, and they've saved my ass so many times. They're not heavy. You just fill them. Well, they are when you fill them with water, but we leave them underneath our basket in the trailer, and they are lifesavers, man.
Yeah, I got 4 in every truck.
I am a person of resources, and I have a good Apache buddy who is a Apache pilot. Yeah, I can get you a couple from Fort Bragg. Yeah, I'll bring you some. It's the vinyl ones. It's the good ones too. So I appreciate the resources. Yeah. Yes, but thank you, man.
You'll run it. Everybody like I said, it's my first year, and we started with 4, and we were like, we'll make a little side money with them. And now we're damn near got 30 of them. So, and it's rough, man. But like,
I got a tip for everybody. I think that I don't know if everybody here knows this already, but this one has saved my ass a few times for a few different reasons. So if you ever have a unit that's just completely trashed and it needs to go to a customer's house and it can't possibly go there, or you ever double book an item, if it's like chairs, I just bring a fancier chair, and usually they don't care as long as it's all the same type. And then like as for a bounce house, I'll call them and be like, oh, I just had this thing rented out. It got a hole in it. It got tore up. You know what I mean? I got to get it patched, but I won't be able to do it in time for your party. What I do have is this, and you just offer them a different unit that's like similar. And then like 9 times out of 10, they're like, cool. If they give you any like sweat, just give them like a slight discount because you did fuck up. They don't know it. But 9 times out of 10, you don't even have to discount anybody.
Yeah, I'll upgrade them too if that happens. Like, right, they rent this and we can't get it there because I jacked it up or whatever. But like, look, this is a
If I
better.
don't have something, upgrade it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a better unit. I'm gonna give you that. Let's see. Lots to unpack there. That was a good conversation. So shout out to you, Chris. That was badass. And thank you, Chris, for sharing all that, because I know it's hard to do and weird, but badass. What I would tell you is keep scaling, dude, and get the hell out of your job. You're not a job guy. You're not a job guy. Not no more.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And when you quit, listen, when you quit, you get on Medicaid. Like, you get free healthcare, right? You need a good CPA to keep it long term, okay? But no, but for real though, you get Medicaid because you'll have startup costs. It kind of depends on how you do it, right? I'd already quit, so mine was different. But like, I had all my startup costs that all write off, and like the write-offs were insane. Like, I think I did, like in 2020, I think I did in revenue like 85K or something like that. And I claimed like 8,000 of it, right? And that's through a CPA. That's on the up and up. That's no shady biz, right? But it's because so many things were happening, startup costs and depreciation of this and the trailer and the Jeep and the whatever. You know what I mean? You know, and then and then that continues until you pass a threshold. And then once you get past that threshold, yeah, you got to go get your own health insurance. But like, you kind of had the free ride to get yourself established and going to where once you go, then have to go pay for your own health insurance, bro, it's not that big of a deal, because you're the money you're making at that point in time, as long as you're a good, you got to be a good entrepreneur. This is all under the guise that you're a good business owner. But it's like, I'd rather pay for my own family's health care than have to go put up with some dickhead boss that doesn't appreciate my good ass ideas, right?
Well, see, and that's where it comes in, is that this dickhead that I've dealt with for 3 years is being let go the 25th of this month. So it's like, here they are, they're offering you another job. It's like, but this is the politics of, of an organization. What do you want to be involved with for the rest of your life? You're going to go through the same shit if you're with an organization. You are. I mean, you're going to deal with the politics. You're going to deal with the bullshit. You're going to deal with the people that can't produce, even though you're calling them out, but you look like the bad guy.
Yep.
Don't deal with the bullshit. Just deal with your own company, shit.
Yeah, every corporation, forever and always, forever.
Yeah.
David, do you still have a job, David? You don't have his camera on, so
yeah, I do. Sorry, yeah, I do have a job. It's funny because I'm actually, and we're 50-50, like I said, which me and my partner, we work at the same place, but we're kind of slow at work right now. And like, I haven't worked a 5-day week in probably the last 2 months. Like, there were rotating drivers, and I'm like, look, I told my boss, I'm like, I will take any day you'll give me. And I literally, like I said, it's every week. I'm like, this week I'm actually off 3 days or 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday, and same for last week. So, I mean, it's worked out tremendously, because my job, we used to work 12, 14-hour days. Everything changed, and I got good bosses now, and I'm very fortunate on them. They know I'm running a business, and they support it, and I show up every day to work, and I do what I got to do, and give them my full attention while I'm there and time, and then they're supportive of it. I mean, you would think a company would be like, well, he's just holding around until he's comfortable with leaving. But they even said, when you gonna cut out and do it full time? I'm like, it's hard to give this job up with the amount of pay and with y'all being so lenient with me. So, I mean, I'm very fortunate in my situation. Like, everything this year has fallen into my lap the way I wanted it to, better than it ever could. So
yeah, and that's the situation where, cool, it ain't broken.
Yeah,
keep rolling.
Right.
I mean, my situation was different. I felt much more like Chris, where it's like, I mean, I quit before I had anything. Like, Right.
Yeah.
I drove Uber and sold trash from the side of the road and rented my 2 bounce houses on the weekend to try and help pay the mortgage. You know what I mean? But it's like if and the company that I worked at was they're psychos. They're psychos. I have a deep appreciation in my heart for Journeys. They're psychos. Everybody that works there, it's the joke once you leave is that it's a cult. Literally, cult behavior goes on at that company. And so you cannot as a salaried employee, right? And so since I was a district manager, even though I worked in the field, I was considered a corporate employee. You cannot have a second, like you can't start a business and have a side hustle because it's a conflict of interest under policy, blah, 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 right? I got the fucking 5th degree over the goddamn 2 bounce houses. And I was like, bro, I don't touch it. Like it's my wife's thing, right?
My wife called that.
And she posted all the posts were under her name. Like I couldn't touch anything. And I'd already gotten in trouble. This is a long story, but I almost got fired because they didn't appreciate one of my ideas. So I said, fuck you, and created an online course. And within about 20 minutes of launching the online course that took me 1,000,000 trillion billion hours, I almost got fired, went to the board of directors and all this craziness because the thing I launched the course for, I had created as a Journeys employee for the Journeys Corporation, right? I created a scheduling system for my stores and they didn't appreciate it. So I said, screw you, I'm gonna go sell it myself. And then I almost got fired, right? So I was already on red alert when the bounce house came up, but it was kind of like,
all right, guys, watch this guy, Nick. He's onto something. He's trying to make.
Yeah, but I originally started this wanting with the idea to get out of a 9-to-5 job. And then once I got really busy, it was like going to my 9-to-5 was my break, because like we're sitting in a truck while the trailer's getting loaded. So I'm like sitting back, relaxing, like, this is my break, because our job really is easy. Like I sit my fat ass in a truck all day. I just bump a dock, wait an hour, bump a dock, wait an hour. Like Wesley, he's one of those office guys. He's like, I ain't gonna go into it, but he'll talk bad about me. But I mean, it is such an easy. He's gonna talk. He's like still half supervisor, half truck driver. So he gets down with management. He's still a khaki wearing
truck drivers. I saw Wesley with on a minute ago. I was like,
he still has his khaki phase every now and then. They let him slide in the office on a rainy day. That's the kind of business partner he is.
Only on the rainy days.
He still gives me shit from time to time. When it's cold, when it's raining.
Any inconvenience.
Yeah, I mean, and that, it goes back to, one of my favorite, like I used to say it when I was a district manager for Journeys, like it was like a cliche because I said it so often, but I'd always preface every conversation with everybody's different. Like I can't give you advice that makes sense to you. I can only preface it by saying everybody's different. Now here's my advice. But like in that situation, actually, we'll segue to hiring people, because I think that's something that I'm proud to say that's a question I've been getting more often than where do I buy my first bounce house or how do I buy Christmas lights, is how do you hire people, right? So everybody's different. So if I'm in your position, David, where I got a job that is the vacation and the support system, which that second part to me is worth 1,000 trillion% more than whatever they pay you. You know what I mean? But from there, you can then move into a situation where, and this is way, 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 way easier said than done. Okay. And Mark can probably chime in on this more than anybody here, but you start to hire guys that can do it without you, right? Which I have done. I have done. My guys are fucking badass, like badass. You get into a situation where you're kind of like, you feel like you've left yourself out of the business. Like I'm left on Saturday morning kind of feeling lonely, like not at 5:30 in the morning, but like 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, I wonder if they dropped off, the castle. Like I wonder how that went. I know that was going at a park, right? You want to call them and text them and stuff. But once you do that, though, like the rest of your life normalizes to a degree that's insane. And so for me, it's weird. Now I'm busy enough setting up all the Christmas light stuff to where it's awesome. But like a month ago, it was weird. I did not really like it that much. Like I loved it, but hated it. But if you've got another job that, or like a real regular job that pays your salary and your health care and your 401k, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you're up to 30 units. So, I mean, I know how much money you're making per weekend, roughly. You know what I mean? If you could double dip on both of those, that's amazing. At some point, though, their burnout, which is a term I don't like, but overwork yourself comes into conversation, right? Not now, because you're going to ride the high or the endorphins of starting the businesses and getting the big jobs or whatever. But at some point, like, dude, it's going to come crashing down, right? So if you can scale the business through people, you'll be wildly more successful because you can't scale. And I'm not trying to talk to you directly here, but I kind of accidentally am. But you can't scale David and Wes. Like you guys, you're unscalable. You know what I mean? And so I scaled through people, I'm going to say by accident, but I'm also going to say by habit, because you had to when I worked at Journeys. Like I had 25 stores and 500 employees. Like I literally couldn't do anything that mattered other than hire people, right? So now that I'm in a position as an entrepreneur, I have the skill set to do it. But to scale through people comes down to, in my opinion, and Mark, if you want to chime in, please do. But like kind of the processes. And I know, Mark, we talked about it a little bit last week. You said common sense and then went and then elaborated on that. And I think you nailed it on the head. But you scale through processes. And what I mean by that is all the shit that you guys have ever seen me do on YouTube, I made up. Like I got no training, no help, no insight, no anything. I just made it all up, right? So then when I started hiring people, I had to teach them all these weird, nuanced, goofy ways of doing things and storing the cords and rolling the extension cords and all this weird shit. And it's just been very clunky. I'm blessed to have hired very, very bright, driven guys to where they do a good enough job, but like they can't be me and do my goofy ass ideas because they are not me. So I'm now moving into an era which will really start in probably February, but it's going to be like built to outsource, where it's going to be simple, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. We work ourselves to death, like, to be quite honest with you. But we see, me and him, we have the same vision, and we understand like there's greater to come. But I think our wives get more tired than we do. Even though like last weekend we were out Friday afternoon or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. But like this week, our guy, because none of our guys could work last weekend for some reason, but this weekend, every one of them's like, yeah, we want to work. Like I was like, good, y'all take the whole. We got one guy that could literally run our entire thing, which he's our good friend. But that's kind of what we're trying to do, is like get him to where he can take charge and if he needs to train or anything like that, because
that's the dude.
You're right. Like,
yeah.
That he was with us.
Yeah.
So he can run all of our stuff. Christmas light, you name it. Like he can do every bit of it. He'll do it by himself too. He doesn't give a shit. But there are weekends where we look at each other like, fuck, man. They're like, I'm just whooped. Like, and
that was my happy place back in the day. Was you know what I mean? And if you could go, like, I wish there was a way I could share like every story I posted to Facebook 2 years ago, like in unison, right? Because it pops up on Facebook, but it's like, I mean, it's me alone, 14-hour days picking up 11 units.
My hat's off to you for that shit, man. But we do it together. We suffer together.
but happy though. Like fuck the work and all the shit that I did. My hat is on, like one of them today, like my hat was on like this in the truck because I was like so beat, but I'm like trying to drop like wisdom, like work hard and I don't know, whatever I was saying. But I'm just like, I watch them, I'm like, dude, just delusional from the physical workload, but so obviously happy, like the happy radiates through the phone. But and it was awesome, and I had people in my inbox, right? And back then I didn't have a YouTube channel, so it's just like family and friends or whatever. In my inbox, you're gonna kill yourself, you need to hire some people, you can't keep this up. I also had the opposite. I respect you so much, you're incredible, da 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 da. You know what I mean? And I would reply to everybody like, you can't run out of gas when you're as happy as I am. Like you can't. Like
No, yeah, I get that 100%.
But I will say this: the newness, that's kind of what I consider it. The newness wears off to where it does start to, like, it gets repetitive and it's not fun anymore because it's not new. Like, you're not dating the new hot chick, like, right? Now the hot chick is talking to you about the problems that she has, like the mental issues that she has. And all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, like, right, the honeymoon phase does wear off. And mine wore off. I didn't see it coming, I'll put it that way. And then, not that I had to scramble to get hired, but it was like, oh shit, I got to get hired, right? And then that's when I hired Tyler. And like that day, like the sun came out and the butterflies flew or whatever. But from that point forward, then I built it through them, through the guys buying more slides, you know, building the inflatable off. Like, you do all the back end stuff, but like once you start building it through the people is when you start to realize the impact your business can have, not on the people you drop off bounce houses to, but on the people that you hire, their moms. Like, I got I don't know where it is, but I got a thank you note with 2 Starbucks gift cards from one of the kids' moms who used to work for me. Jacob's in the Marine Corps now, but she sent, like, randomly out of nowhere, like, I got a thank you card, you know what I mean, of how much we helped and how much she appreciates how much my wife and I cared for the boys, and then 2 Starbucks gift cards, you know what I mean? Just start that now. That, like, the moral of the story is start looking for that now.
We had a high school kid that he got. We finally had to tell him, like, look, man, we can't buy your food. Like, we did it a couple times to be nice, and then it started being an everyday thing. He's like, I'm hungry. When are we going to eat before we work? And I'm like, no, like, but I mean,
I'm weird, dude. I don't buy my guys shit. I never did. My whole entire life as a manager, man, I didn't buy anybody shit. My people would come to work, be like, man, I'm too broke to eat. Like, I'll have to drink the free coffee over at Target. And like, I look, I'm like, we can have lots of conversations about budgeting and all sorts of shit, but like, dude, I ain't buying your lunch.
The first few people that had worked for me, I bought them breakfast like day one. And
they expected after that.
It turned into, I thought that was part of the job. I was like, no, that was your welcoming party. Surprise.
Yeah, that's me being nice, man. Like, we run into that for sure.
My guys freak out. Like, we'll go, like, we don't really stop, you know what I mean? Like, when I go run a route with the guys for the jump off, like, it's right 6 to 12 and then we go home. But when we switch over to Christmas lights, like, we work all day, right? Like, we start at last year we were starting at like 7 and then we'd finish at 5, right? We go to the gas station and I'd be like, yeah, whatever you guys want, like I got it, you know what I mean? They literally wouldn't let me, like, I had to, like, dude, shut up, put it on the thing. Like, they won't, like, still to this day, like, I don't go to the corner store with my guys very often, but when I do, I'm like, I got it, you guys are good. They, like, won't let me buy. They will not.
That's what we need training. That's what we need training on. Like, that, the one dude that can run everything, I'll give him the card. Like, I know he's honest. Fill up your truck when you're done. You know, bring me the receipt. Get something to eat. Like, because he, like I said, he is one that I could trust with the business. But I mean,
yeah, Isaiah has my car. He didn't mean to take it, but he's like, I had to fill up the work truck like the jump off truck that stays at the warehouse. So I got it filled up with gas and it was in my pocket. He guy called me. I'm like, you're good, bro. I got some shit at the trailer store you need to pick up. So just go pick up the shit at the trailer store because you got the card in your pocket. It's by your house.
Yeah.
Like, we're good. We're good. Yeah, he went and picked it up today. Very good. All right. Anybody got questions? I was gonna touch on one more thing, but or comments. Anybody want to unmute and talk and get it up? We had a very active chat, so I'm gonna read through these.
Mark, I'm sorry. I'm kind of like on beer number trying to read that. It says, Justin, you sitting straight. Now you are leaning. Are you okay? I'm sitting straight, correct. I'm leaning forward because I can't see shit and I got to read.
Not you.
The other
I'm talking about Justin in the brown and hat.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I
I'm
know
good.
the problem.
I've been sitting like this the whole time. I just had it closer to my face.
Oh,
But what I actually I have a Christmas light question.
All right, what's up?
I'm up in New York. Like, what's the longevity when those things get like full of snow, like stuck to, or iced on people's roofs and crap like that? Like,
So not having any experience in that, right? Because it doesn't snow where I'm at. Basically, you're good. You're good. The only thing that I've heard is an issue is if you have, like a metal roof, like a whatever dentist or some commercial building that's a metal roof. Right. And I grew up in Salt Lake, so I know this happens. As soon as it gets sunny.
Average houses have metal roofs in it.
Oh, okay. So as soon as it gets sunny, right, the metal heats up and the snow falls off. And it's like a huge event, like a huge avalanche. That is that'll take your lights down if they're oriented in a way to do that. But when I was talking to Fred,
they might be iced in, and the whole thing moves and grabs it and rips it right down.
Right. But I was talking to Fred, and I was telling him how I do, like, so the magnet clips that go on a metal roof. I don't do mine on the front. It's kind of hard to explain, but like if the front of the roof is this way, right, you hook the magnet this way so the bulb points straight out. If you tap it, it'll fall off and then it'll take the whole line down the whole way. It's the most frustrating thing you can ever hear as a Christmas light contractor. Your heart breaks every time you ever hear it. Happens on shingles too. But so instead of putting them on the front of the house, I'm like, I'm an idiot. What are we doing? We just put them on the top of the roof because you can clip the line in a different way. And so I told Fred that, like some genius. And he's like, yeah, we can't do that in Indianapolis because if the roof heats up, the snow comes off, it'll take everything down. I'm like, right. Grew up in Salt Lake, knew that. So I can do that here because we don't get snow. But other than that, that's it.
That's interesting.
Like, I mean, there's big companies in places that snow, right? Because that's where Christmas lights look the best. That's where they look the best. I don't remember where Patrick is at. But he just did. I wish I could post pictures on this, but he just did a tree. It was a tree wrapped in green, all green. It was a $60,000 tree. Not that big.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, insane. Like I don't do work on that scope. You know what I mean? There was another Christmas light question in here I saw earlier. Let's see if I can find it.
I am out of here, guys. I gotta go back to work.
That's a bummer, dude. I feel bad for you.
Oh no, I gotta go smoke more weed and talk about weed.
I'm gonna have to check that box when I put it on YouTube. It's like, does it talk about drugs or whatever?
Oh,
you know the one I'm talking about?
I never checked that, but I don't see that box.
Yeah, like it asks you like if you swear and like what the swear words are, and then if there's guns in it.
What?
Yeah, if it's like you self-approve for ads or something like that.
I have never checked those boxes ever.
Yeah, they're kind of new.
That's actually really interesting. Oh, well, I'm sorry there.
Wes, you asked something about the training per person or per company. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, basically, do you charge so when everybody comes out to see you to go over it, do you charge like for us, Air It Up, we've got 4 guys. Do you charge for all of Air It Up or do you charge it by person?
So basically the tickets were sold per person,
Okay.
but I had a lot of people that messaged and said, hey, I want to bring my business partner, my husband, my wife, whatever. I let right. Yeah, let's go. Like I'm a people person. Let's get everybody in there. We were pretty freaking full at the warehouse because my warehouse is just too small. Next year, what's going to happen is one of two things. Either I'll hold last week I was in Dallas having a meeting with Matthew from Big and Bright Inflatables, and this is totally ironic, but he also does Christmas lights. No connection whatsoever. And so I was telling him about the trainings, and I said, hey, look, I would love to quote unquote partner with you to let me have the trainings at your warehouse. This warehouse is nice and big and open and pretty and new. So let me have the trainings at your warehouse. You know what I mean? You can come and then you can sell people inflatables and whatever the fuck you want to do. So next year, if I can have one in Atlanta, I'm going to see if I can, I got to talk to Tim from Inflatable Office. I have no idea what their office looks like, but if it's in any shape to have a training, I'll have it at their office. You know what I mean? To where it can be bigger. If there's no, I don't know anybody in Orlando. I know Kevin, I
got spots up in Buffalo.
Yeah. So it's if I can come up to Buffalo and have it at Justin's warehouse, dude, bring all 4 of your guys. The thing about the training though, right? And even though I put it on and wrote the whole thing myself, I didn't think through this all until I'm in the moment. This is kind of the person that's the person that I am. I had 4 of my guys there, and the whole time we're talking about how to post to Facebook or SEO and web page design and how to bid jobs. I'm none of my guys, I had 2 that were experienced and 2 that were new. I'm the 2 new guys aren't learning anything, right? I was yeah, you guys come to the training, I'll pay you. You guys can run around, but then you'll learn a bunch of stuff. I'm it was 1 hour we were actually working with the product, maybe 1 hour. You know what I mean? So it's really more about how to start the business, grow the business, scale the business than it is
units.
Yeah, it'd almost be detrimental to have your guys there because they're going to be oh, no shit, now I know how to go start my own.
Well, that's kind of where I was getting at. So if people around you show up to that, it's not necessarily just building your competition.
It would be, yeah. Matt Blakemore was the only one that was quote unquote near me that came, but he's 45 minutes into Baton Rouge. Everybody else was from, they either flew in or drove in. And that's why next year, I'm likelihood of having one at my warehouse next year is low. I'm going to go travel, right? I don't want someone from Houston driving in again, or somebody from Chris is from Arizona. I'll just go have one in Arizona. Yeah. I'd like to have one in Georgia for sure. Right. Atlanta-ish is easy. Orlando. I'd rather do Austin than Houston, because then Dallas and Houston can both come in, and I love Austin way more. I like Houston, but I love Austin. You know what I mean? But I want to have them at those kind of places and have people come in. And if I don't know anybody there, right? Nobody's in Austin that I know anything about.
Austin.
D, man.
Right, but yeah, actually, I said that to Matthew, and he's like, screw Austin, just come here. I'm okay, I guess we'll do Dallas, right? Because I can go have it at the Big and Bright.
On your Georgia part of it, I've got just up here in North Georgia, just talking to Justin. My dad runs a trunking company. He's got about 5 acres of just grass that you could set up and do training on how to roll and all this kind of other stuff. Plus, he's got a warehouse with office space and an upstairs that's not being used at all that you could sit down and go over. You know, if I don't know if you do like PowerPoints and all this other kind of junk, but anyway, you could put in 45 plus people or more. So if you're looking at doing something this way and you can't find anything in Atlanta, just let me know and we'll see if we can work something out.
Yeah, I would way more prefer to do it at a venue like that than, you know, the other option is do it at the hotel, a little conference room.
Right.
And I had 8 million meetings that I used to do for Journeys at the conference room. So I can call them and wheel and deal. It's going to be $800. I can get it down to 150. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But I'd way rather have it at something where it's like feels more like what it's supposed to be. Like a conference room at a hotel feels so skeezy.
I mean, like I said, this is just a grass field and a gravel parking lot. It's got a bunch of trailers parked in it, but you know, we can make it work.
Yeah, we can put Christmas lights on the building and
that's right.
Excited.
Christmas lights. We can put up anything we want.
So I was supposed to leave, but I didn't. I was still listening in. And yo, Nick, there's talks with a few people about a conference that we're gonna try and start. I think all of, you know what I mean, all the big wigs and such, like Event Hawk people and whatnot.
Oh, bro, I'll sell it out. Wherever you want to have it, I'll fucking sell it out.
Well, the whole thing is there's no conference like ARA. Like, this is gonna be your first IAPA, right?
Yeah.
First of all, IAPA, I'm fucking hyped. Second of all,
same.
Like, second of all, like so IAPA, you can walk by and like the CEO of Disney could be there. But it's just like there's just so much going on. It's like there's Bounce House stuff, there's carnival stuff. It's one of the biggest carnival trade shows.
Right.
It's like an entertainers trade show. Whereas in ARA is a lot of rental stuff, but they have like giant tractors and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's more tent gear. There's a few bounce houses, but I want to do something that's just straight backyard party, like a conference that's geared just straight towards like that. And just be involved in that.
Very in, and I will sell all the tickets. I will sell it out. Trust me, because
I'm very much involved. Like, I'm in the stagehand union, so I know a lot about that stuff too. Like, I literally set up freaking conferences or get paid to, at least sometimes.
Yeah. No, I'm in. Yeah. So whatever the avenues to get in the conversation, do those.
Yeah, we'll be talking. You already know I freaking throw your name around, man. I keep calling you when I can get in touch with you.
I know I'm a shithead. I suck.
I know where to be. I know where you'll be on Wednesdays.
Yes, this is true. I do carve this out.
So if y'all are wanting to do it in Vegas, my mom runs a pretty large corporate event planning company, which is kind of how I got into the bounce house thing. So I don't know if y'all have heard of Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, but she knows the people that run that on a first name and last name basis. So if you need 100,000 plus square feet of space.
Sounds like we might have it in Vegas, bro. It just hit my radar, but it sounds like we might have it in Vegas.
Figure something out there pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm very game. Yeah, other people.
A lot of tickets to sell,
like, you need to start a bounce house convention. Like,
yeah, we're going to the convention for foam in Vegas. I'm pumped for that, for Foam Daddy.
Or Foam something. I saw it on Facebook.
Foam Universe. That's Foam Daddy. Throwing the Foam Universe.
But I gotta save for some obstacle courses. That's my budget.
Yes, you do. Do not buy foam, buy obstacle. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want bubbles. I want big inflatables is what I want.
You want money.
What do y'all want? I already ate.
But we sold the dog that looks like yours. We sold it to the next door neighbors. I don't know if I told you that.
You didn't, but she is the best thing that's happened since I bought a bounce house. So cute, but she needs to learn. Like, she just doesn't, she's stubborn. We've got 3 other big dogs, Ozzy, Charlie, and Sammy. And she's the little baby and none of them like her. And she's just crazy. She just doesn't listen.
That's funny. That's the one we sold. The one we have is
the other ones that I've trained. They're perfect. This is the only one that's throwing me for a loop.
That's funny. All right. In the comments, Al asked, what's your average ticket for Christmas light installs? So last year, I think it was 1,400 was the average. But that average is right. That's the average. It sways from $600 up to last year. Our biggest, we had 2 that were 5,000. This year we've already sold a 5,500, and it's like we ain't even playing yet. Average ticket this year will be definitely higher because last year I was wheeling dealing and low key like worried we wouldn't sell out or that I was charging too much. Like there was like, guilt. This year it's like I know what I'm worth. We're rolling. What's that?
Do you cut churches a deal?
No, hell no.
Nick,
we got one.
I'm
That's
atheist.
like
I'm atheist. I do not cut anybody deals from churches.
have you gotten a Chick-fil-A deal yet?
No, I did. I did have a
one,
Chick-fil-A bid. I had a
'Cause
Chick-fil-A bid.
That Christmas light thing, and I keep seeing people bounce back and forth like, you don't want it, you do want it. So what's the scoop on it? Do you want it or not?
On what?
Chick-fil-A. Because I see some people like, oh, it's too much headache, you don't want to do it. And then I see some people like, oh my gosh, why are you not taking them?
Hunter. So around here, Hunter owns the biggest Christmas light company. It's called Be the Light, and he's an amazing dude. He's super awesome. He has in Lafayette, which is like 2 hours away from here. He has like a $36,000 Chick-fil-A.
I'm game.
Yeah, like come on, like
that's one drop.
Yeah, like light tunnels.
Where do I sign? Where is the contract? I'll print it.
I don't know all the details of this, but it's got light tunnels and it's got trees and the building and all this. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to so when I got my Chick-fil-A bid, which actually was last year, right? I was like, Chick-fil-A, let's go. We just hit the big time. And then I gave him a bid, and one other buddy that I know that's in the business also gave him a bid. So the odds that they only contacted us two is low, right? There's more people they contacted. But I landed it, right? Because I showed up in person. I didn't have the hand tattoo at the time, but I just, right? It just was there with my journal and my tape measure and me. Sold her the bid, or sold her on myself, then gave her the bid. They decided to go with me. Then the marketing director or whatever they're called quit. And so I followed up with her. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I quit and moved. She like moved away. I'm like, girl, I talked to you like a month ago and now you live in a different state. Like, what the hell happened? And so then when I followed up with like the Chick-fil-A email address of marketing, the new girl didn't check it for months and months. And then in December, I got an email that's like, no, we're not interested. I'll reach out to you next year. And then I've already reached out to them and they said like, yeah, we're like checking the scope of work and the bill. I'm like, it was like $1,900 or something. Like it's nothing. Like, so I'm just like,
follow up and be like, with your markup on chicken and how many cars come through, I know you got a double lane. You're making at least 10,000 a day.
At least. And then I was worried about a $2,000 Christmas light bid. Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, you're good. You guys contact us if you like. You're right. I did let's get out of this. Let's get out of this.
God,
I mean, if you can do like a like a strip mall, like a shopping center. I mean, that fast, it's like $14,000, and you're not even doing anything hard yet. Like you're not even wrapping trees.
I have 6 of those within 10 mile radius.
I have 0 clients of them, right? I've never landed one of those or even had. But I mean, the Sazerac house, let me show you this. I'm going to share my screen and show you this. We landed this job. They already paid their deposit, which I'm hype, like beyond hype about.
That's for real though, like $36K for one spot.
Yeah, 36, 32. I don't remember what Hunter told me, but yeah. One chicken restaurant.
Oh, that must be some Breaking Bad chicken right there. That's
But they're a successful one. Their marketing budget is just so big. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like their the profit margin on the chicken is like you were just joking, but like
no, it's crazy.
yeah. So yeah, I mean it's not, and they do that big of a display. Yeah, they do that big of a display. Like people come to see the lights. Oh, and then by the way, they buy chicken. Like that's what I try to explain to. Here it is. That's what I try to explain to my client, some of my corporate clients. I'm like, you don't realize like you're gonna pay me $6,000 to put on Christmas lights, but you're gonna make like 30. Okay, so
Just
this
drive through.
So this is in let me see if I can do street view so you can like see a better view. There we go. Oh, I'm backwards. There we go. Oh, I'm way off. Google is tripping right now. I'm driving. You can see the picture over here.
Hold it up. I gotta get a beer real quick. Hold on.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna light this awning right here. Okay, so boom, boom, all the way down. It's a long ass awning. It's copper, ladies and gentlemen, so magnets won't stick. So yeah, not happy about it. I'm literally fabricating a way to, I already did it, so we're good. I already know what we're doing, but I fabricated a way to put Christmas lights on that won't damage it because it's a fancy ass place. Let me come down to cater a little bit. Go.
You deal with a lot of people that get upset, like if you scratch their gutters, like if it's a black gutter.
Nope, nobody cares.
Okay.
It's literally the easiest industry to ever be in. There we go. Okay, so this is daytime. This is nighttime, right? So look at the uplights. Like they've already got warm white uplights. Like it's going to be killer. So what we're lighting, we're going to come down this edge all the way down. So it's the length of the building and then up that edge of this copper awning. And that's going to probably be a bitch, but we'll see. And then, so I'll be doing that while I've got, I think I've got Brooke and Logan with me this day. And then Danny, I just hired Danny. So hopefully she'll be there too. But so we're going to light this little edge there. Oh, it won't back up. There we go. The whole family's streaming right now. So you got to deal with I even upgraded my internet for this show.
This month alone, I guarantee you've made enough to get a M1 Mac, man. Come on.
I know, dude. So this
national show.
It won't back up, man. It will not back up. There we go. It might be my mouse. Okay, so then when you look at the building from a different angle, you only can see this edge, like the angle that's the normal Google Street View. You see this edge of this parapet wall, or I don't even know what this is called. You see this edge. So I bid the job of this. Then I get there, and then this parapet right here that comes up, and this goes the length of the building, and you can't see it right here. It's hidden, but it goes the length of the building. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna light both. We're lighting both of them. So we're gonna light this edge, which I gotta make sure my guys don't die while they're putting those up. And then this will be super easy because you do it from the roof, no big deal. And so come back to this bad boy, right? See, so you can't really tell that this is part of the building, but this right there will all have Christmas lights on it. And then this edge, the length, will have warm white Christmas lights on it. And then this awning, it's going to literally be the crown jewel of Let's Get Lit. It's going to be so amazing that I'm
on top like that. Do you tell your guys that if they fall, they were fired before they hit the ground?
That's already rule number one. That's already like that's my favorite. That's my favorite rule. Like when the new guy's up on the ladder, I'm like, hey Billy, you know the rule? No, you fall, you hit the ground, fired.
You need to put as soon as you let go of the letter, you realize you let go of your job position.
There you go. I like it.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
That big one. What I was gonna ask, do they ever ask for you to like light interior stuff? So you add like lights to inside trees or stuff like that?
This
Or
one
is it-
didn't. So
Yeah.
this one is a it's ironic. This is a whiskey museum fitting for tonight. But yeah, but inside is like just whiskey and shirts. Like, and Sazerac is a New Orleans rye whiskey. It's very good. But so inside's like a store, and then there's like an entryway that goes into the museum. I didn't go see any of that. We went to the top floor and like whatever, looked at everything. But like inside is like so fancy. Like, right, I'm in my black Let's Get Lit shirt. We just came off of a reinstall and a new install, right? So we're dirty and kind of sweaty. And then like I didn't realize it was this fancy. Like I looked at it from Google Street View, but like daytime. And we walk up, and I was with Brooke, who Brooke still works for Journeys, but she works for me sometimes when I'm over there. And I'm like, Brooke, like, come on. Like, I didn't know we were going to somewhere fancy. Like, we go through these big, beautiful doors, and like everybody's all there's like 6 security guards, and like the chicks are running around. I'm like, wow, this is fancy, dude. Like Versace pants. Yeah, and then they loved us. They're like, we are a whiskey museum and your name is Let's Get Lit. Like, we have to do business together. I'm like, yes, girl, we do. Come on. Yeah, so that'll
We're setting up lights in a tux.
yeah, real talk, bro. But yeah, so that'll be just that one's gonna be so killer, dude. That one's gonna be so killer. Like, I'm so stoked for that. Just to have that on the resume, you know what I mean?
Resume or next year, that would be a beautiful. As soon as you update your Christmas light website, like you were saying at the beginning with your bounce house one, that'd be a perfect. As soon as you click on it, that header photo,
Yeah.
it'd be like, hey, now we're dealing with a different bracket.
Yeah, next year I'm gonna have somebody that knows something about websites, right? Because that's people message me all the time, like, well, is it hard to like set up the website with IO and da da da? I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, I have built 2 websites with my bare hands. They look so shitty, even though I've put in a million hours. I've taught myself what to do. And then you go to my inflatable office website and everybody raves about how good it looks. I'm like, it's a template that I like changed the pictures on. Yeah. So it's underrated how awesome.
I wish I could show you right now our booking software. It's very bare bones. It doesn't have any of the nice looking stuff. It's mainly just back end template data. So it looks very gross. But from what I used to do was front end design, I can see where it's going, and it's very promising. It's not going to be like IO straight off the bat. We're going to release more and more stuff, but I'm telling you, I'm pouring a lot of money into it, so it needs to work.
I mean, if you think about it, right? And I love inflatable office, so like, no disrespect to them, but
no disrespect. They're amazing. It's just the dashboard I'm dealing with. It's their new one. It still looks very old in today's standards to me.
and you know things about that, so
Yeah.
right. But if you think about, like, I'm just talking the industry, right? So ERS is the biggest one, and like their reputation is moved into like the Yankees, big evil corporation that's out to get you and whatever, right? They're like the evil.
BCN got bought out by a payment processor, and now they're just fishing for money.
Yeah, that's ERS.
That's ERS. I thought it was BCN. So okay, I got it. Flip flop.
Yeah, so that's ERS. Then you've got inflatable office, right? Is really, in my eyes, the next biggest, right? And then they're like regular people that are like, right, they're techie, like, you know, internet nerds, but like Tim comes from the inflatable world. He ran an inflatable company, like, and they're like down to earth ass people that like build something like you can mess with.
I'm gonna say Inflatable office is still great. I'm not gonna say, hey, go switch to me immediately. It's shit. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty shit. It's pretty bare bones.
But then you've got BCN, which is like England, confusing, bubbly letters, like, and the discount one, right there, the discount one. That's it though. That's it. There's 3.
Yeah, it's a pretty open monopoly to have that.
That's all I'm saying is if you can come in with there was a company, there's actually 2 companies. One offered me some money to be their spokesman and do ads with them and trying to help them grow theirs. I did not do that because I was like, bro, you got to come with some money, you know what I'm saying, to get me out of what I'm doing. Because like, if you don't know this world, and they didn't know inflatables, whatever. Very nice guy, but and also from Salt Lake like me, so like near and dear to my heart, but like no. And then another one approached me kind of with some sloppy stuff, and I'm like, you need to get out of here, dude. Neither of those 2. This is about a year removed, almost. Probably 9 months. Neither of them are in the space at all whatsoever. Never seen their name, and I know both the companies' names. Nobody knows their names. I know their name. Never seen anything from them. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, from an entrepreneur standpoint, I'm like, this is a large industry that's growing rapidly, and there's 3.
I feel that. No, so I'm going to be doing all the front end works, which would be the websites people see. So like, IO and all them, they have the templates, the demo sites. I'll be doing all the fun looking stuff, but the way we're building the back end, I want to start with inflatables, but really that type of software can be scaled out to anything. It could be for someone that does wedding photos. They want to have a website they're a wedding photographer. They want to have a booking software just for that.
So
Java does it, Square does it for appointments. There's a few big names. I think I remember researching it. There's about 8 for the whole world. It does a bunch of service type based website booking software.
8.
So bounce off of that. So like we met somebody Thursday that has a sign, whatever. They do party signs, like happy birthdays and that kind of shit, right?
That stuff will have its own. I'm telling you,
its own thing.
Very basic looking, but it's very complex back end wise. So that's where my job is going to be hard, because I got to make it look fun and nice for this, but I also want it to look very sleek and professional. Like if you've been to a Square site, it's just super basic. It's right to the point, and that sells. That's why Square is big as hell. It just works. There's no gimmicks. There's no fun. There's no flair. So I'm going to try to add the flair, but not be too complicated to where people get confused in booking. And the one thing that I'm really happy with, because I hate doing it myself, is with EventHawk, it's very easy to message and everything. But whenever people are out for delivery and I'm trying to update times, because when I make the drop schedule, I give them an estimated time when we'll be there. And of course, it never works out with the estimated times. So whenever we finish with the drop schedule, once we press done, it automatically sends out a text saying, hey, we'll be here at this time. And it calculates from where the driver is to the next point. So it's going off that. If you're in Apple Maps and you press Chick-fil-A from your house, it says 15-minute drive. It will calculate that. It will say, hey, we'll be there in 15 minutes, estimated time. And then with the thing, it actually shows you kind of with the Shopify store, it gives you that map almost feel, like it shows you where the truck is. That's what I'm trying to get dialed in. And that's very hard because that's a lot of money, because you're paying for bandwidth at this point. With virtual servers, you're paying for bandwidth, and that's a lot of bandwidth to be uploading every 10 seconds. That's where I'm running into issues. Yeah, a lot of technical shit I'm just spitting out. But for real, I'm very excited. I want it to work. If it doesn't, I'll use it for me. I don't care. It's big software for me. That's exactly what I built it for, was for me. But I'm thinking of a lot of different industries that I think haven't been touched yet, if that makes sense. mainly wedding photographers. A lot of weddings is where the money is, and I'm figuring that out pretty quick for my mom. There's so much fucking money in weddings. It's crazy.
It's true. I've seen some weddings. I didn't know they could be this elaborate.
I realized I was poor when I saw a wedding was going for like 200,000-300,000. It's a thing.
Easy.
Imagine paying 200,000 for a wedding, and that's just a normal day at work. That's normal.
Buddy of ours paid 40,000 for a tree, and he bought 4 trees, 40,000 per tree. Just
I
to
realized,
the damn eye.
there's so much more money out there than I didn't
I'll
know.
sell trees.
It's crazy.
That's legit. Well, hope it goes well, brother.
I hope it does too, but if not, again, I made it for me. If everybody else likes it, cool. It will work for me.
That's good stuff. All right. Well, I'm gonna end this sucker. Number one, I'm out of topics to talk about. Number two, I gotta pee, dude. I've been sitting here for a long time and haven't moved. So you guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys all coming on tonight. So if you're watching on any sort of place or listening, so podcast or YouTube or those are probably the best two. Hit the subscribe button. It means the world to me. You guys are awesome. Otherwise, you guys all have a fabulous evening, and we will see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. Booze and Biz, aka Get Lit with Nick. It was a good night. So good night.